The other day I made a video, and you guys might have seen it, where I talked about 12 games that are coming out in the next 28 days for the Nintendo Switch 2. Well, since that time, we've got to add some more games, and we're going to talk about some new announcements that are coming next month in December for the Nintendo Switch 2. So let's get into it. So December is really shaping up to be the absolute craziest month ever for releases. Like, I've never seen, at least I can't remember a December that had as many releases, especially in just such a short amount of time as this one. Like, it's crazy how much is coming out. But we've got news that 2 more games are on the horizon, like I said, and 2 games that I'm actually interested in planning on picking up. The first one we're going to talk about is actually pretty cool because there has been rumors and speculation about the sequel coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, but not about this particular game coming to the Switch 2. I mean, it makes sense that this game's coming, but yeah, the sequel has been where all the leaks and rumors have been, and that's Red Dead Redemption. So the other day, there was a rumor that the Red Dead Redemption game had been rated for the Nintendo Switch 2, but then looking at this tweet from Rockstar that came out very shortly after that news dropped was Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare are coming to Netflix, iOS, Android, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2 on December 2nd, the same day that Assassin's Creed Shadows is dropping on the Nintendo Switch 2. So this is shaping up to be an absolutely crazy launch, but there's also a press release talking about all the information you need to know regarding Red Dead on the Switch 2. So scrolling down, it says updates and enhancements for current consoles here. It says players on PS5 and Xbox Series S can look forward to a smooth 60 frames per second experience, enhanced image quality and HDR support, and resolutions up to 4K. On Nintendo Switch 2, we've taken full advantage of this new hardware with support for DLSS, HDR, mouse controls, and the same fluid 60 frames per second gameplay at high resolution. Very cool stuff. I'm very excited to hop in and test out all of these new features for Red Dead on the Switch 2, and just being that it's 60 frames per second, has mouse controls, there's a lot of cool things to like get excited about, and I absolutely love Undead Nightmare, so I'm very keen to hop back into Red Dead on Switch 2, have a good time with it. It's been a long time since I've played Red Dead 1. But here's basically what you need to know. Current owners of the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch or the digital backward compatible version on Xbox One will be able to upgrade digitally for free. This is not a paid upgrade. You just have to own the game. So if you want the physical version, go out and buy the physical Red Dead 1 for your Switch 2, and you can just upgrade it for free. That's what I'm planning to do. Anyone who owns the PS4 version can utilize previous PS4 save data to pick up where they left off, and Switch 2 players can continue their previous save data from the previous Nintendo Switch console. This is really, really exciting. So we're getting not only, you know, just new graphical fidelity for Red Dead, which already looked and ran pretty well on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. We're getting better graphical fidelity, but also the addition of mouse controls is something that really excites me. I think that is going to be so cool. And like I said, it's been a very long time since I've played Red Dead, and I'm very much looking forward to hopping in and maybe getting re-addicted. I don't know. There's so many freaking games that are coming out in that time period, but like this excites me a lot. A lot. And you know what else is exciting on top of Red Dead coming at 60 frames per second on the Switch 2? Subscribing to this channel that constantly posts Switch 2 content. I cover news, game reviews, and things of that nature all the time here on this channel. I'm constantly posting, so if that's your jam, if you're into Switch 2 and Nintendo stuff, make sure you stick around. So that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to Red Dead. But on top of that, we've got another game announcement from Ubisoft, actually, which is super, super cool because Ubisoft has just been a constant supporter of the Switch 2 since its launch, right? We got Star Wars Outlaws that's already looking and running so well on the system. Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out the same day as Red Dead Redemption on December 2nd. That is something I'm incredibly excited about. But then they announced another game dropping later in December, and that is going to be the Rogue Prince of Persia. Now, this game actually had already released on other platforms, but they did say that the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2 version would be coming a little bit later down the road. So I've been patiently waiting to play this game. It looks like it's going to be an absolute blast, but they finally announced the release date for this game, and I could not be more excited. So what it says here is that Nintendo players, the wait is almost over. The Rogue Prince of Persia arrives on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on December 16th. Dash, dodge, and defy death in this roguelite adventure where every run rewrites destiny. Persia needs a hero. Are you ready? Like I said, I've been waiting for this game. I'm very excited. Yes, you can see this first comment here. It's a key card. Who freaking cares? Nobody cares. For me personally, I've been waiting for this game for the Switch version, and I'm very excited to go hands-on with it. It's going to be an absolute treat. I've heard nothing but good things about this particular game as well, which is really exciting, and I'm just a huge roguelite fan. It's just a game style that I can't get enough of. I keep playing them, and every single one that gets sent to me I get addicted to for a very brief time. Even if I don't finish it, I'm like hooked on it for a couple days, and then I move on, and then there's another one. Like my copy of Hades 2, the physical copy, is coming in this week, and that is going to be a problem for me. I'm going to be so hooked on Hades. So this game in particular, Prince of Persia, I'm very much looking forward to. I'm very, very excited to hop in and play this one and see what it's all about. It's just a game that I have been, like I said, waiting for. I've been waiting for it, and like I said earlier, Ubisoft is just coming in so clutch with all of these releases. I can't wait to see what else they bring over, because they've already been so good at supporting the Switch 2 hardware with the current games that we have available. I mean, this year alone, Ubisoft has released 3 games for the Switch 2. 3 games. We've gotten Star Wars Outlaws, Prince of Persia, and now Assassin's Creed Shadows. So like, that is massive for this, and I am fully expecting Assassin's Creed Mirage to make its way over, considering the fact that, you know, we got the DLC for that game that's coming out. I expect a lot more Ubisoft games to be coming over. I expect all the Assassin's Creeds at some point to be coming over. But the last thing that we're going to talk about in this particular video is a leak. We're going to talk about a leak about a game that is still rumored to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And I feel like a lot of people, after seeing one of the announcements that we talked about already, were kind of like, oh, well, that's what everybody was talking about. It wasn't actually this game. It was this game that was coming out, and everybody got it wrong. I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I won't show too much footage, if any footage, of Red Dead 2 as B-roll in this video. Maybe I'll just throw up the Red Dead Switch trailer again. Specifically because Rockstar's pretty bad about just, like, copyright striking everybody for their stuff. So I'm not going to show any footage, but the rumor is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is still on the way. Now, this has been a rumor for a long time, and it makes sense that they'd want to get this game out, right? It would make sense. There's not currently a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S version of Red Dead Redemption 2, so if they are working on a version for the current gen consoles being PlayStation and Xbox, why would they not want to work on a version for the Nintendo Switch 2 and then make extra money, right? Especially knowing that GTA 6 was delayed even farther out. We're going to wait even more. That means they have even more time to release first Red Dead Remastered, which they are currently doing with the upgrade pack, and then Red Dead 2 a little bit later, maybe in the springtime after everybody's bought Red Dead 1 with the 60 FPS. They can release Red Dead 2, drop it, make some more money, and then be ready for GTA at the end of the year. I think that makes a lot of sense as far as a release cycle goes for these particular games coming over to the Nintendo Switch 2 and other consoles in general, because this isn't just exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2. But that makes a lot of sense, but there's also leakers that are saying the same thing. So I got us over on Nate the Hate's page. Nate the Hate is a known leaker for information regarding Switch 2 launches and things of that nature. There's a couple replies that Nate the Hate has specifically after the announcement of Red Dead Redemption, the Enhanced Edition that's coming out. So specifically, this person quote tweets at Nate the Hate and says, "You guys have to change insider devs, whatever you guys have." This other person says that's not the point. Of course, Red Dead is coming at some point, but specifically reported Red Dead 2 would come later this year. Nate the Hate then said, "I was told it would come in a few months after Switch 2 launch, which is info from the start of 2025. GTA 6 has since been delayed, and Rockstar does whatever they want. Release timelines change," indicating that yes, they were told that Red Dead 2 is coming to the Switch 2, but because of delays and things of that nature, they might have pushed it back into next year. Like I was saying, maybe instead of being coming out this year, they pushed it back into like spring of next year, and then, you know, they got GTA 6 coming later down the road. Scrolling down a little bit, this person says, "Nate the Hate, is there any chance that this is what you're referring to regarding the Red Dead Redemption announcement for Switch 2? Or are you 100% confident that Red Dead Redemption 2 PS5 Switch 2 is coming?" And Nate the Hate goes on to confirm, "I was told Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically." So just scrolling through the replies of Nate the Hate, this dude gets so many ads at them on Twitter all the time, and they're pretty good about responding. I got to give it to them. Everything indicates that yes, they were told specifically Red Dead Redemption 2. So that means that I am fully confident that this game is still coming, and honestly, that just makes a lot of sense that it's still coming. I don't know why the fact that we're getting an updated version of Red Dead Redemption 1 means that they wouldn't want to make even more money, because like I'm gonna go buy Red Dead Redemption 1 on the Nintendo Switch so I can get the free Switch 2 upgrade. I don't know why that means that we wouldn't get Red Dead Redemption 2 and then make even more money. Like I think a lot of people think like companies don't want to make the money, and it makes sense to drop both of these games on the Nintendo Switch 2 to make as much money as possible, especially considering the budget and how much they had to spend to make GTA 6. Re-releasing Red Dead and Red Dead Redemption 2 helps compensate some of that money that they've been putting in to GTA 6 all these years between releases. So, you know, it just makes more sense that with Red Dead 1 coming out, they would also release Red Dead 2, and then we'd get GTA 6 later down the road, and next year is like a banger year for sales for them. Like, they just astronomical amount of sales. That just makes a ton of sense to me. I could even maybe see another like remaster sneaking in there on top of it, like maybe GTA 5 gets ported over to Switch 2, stuff like that. All that is going to make them more money to put toward their current project, which is GTA 6, and I could even see GTA 6 getting delayed again. Yes, they pushed it back like a whole year essentially. I could see GTA 6 getting delayed into 2027, honestly. This is the biggest budget game of all time, and they're going to definitely want to make sure it's perfect at launch, which means they might just push it back even farther if they need more time and just keep releasing remasters and stuff for the other consoles. So that just makes a lot of sense to me that Red Dead 2 is still on the way. But let me know all of your thoughts. That's going to wrap up this video, guys. It's a bit of a shorter video for one of the talking point videos, but, you know, kind of cool to see all this stuff happening and see all these games coming. Like I said, December is an absolutely insane month for releases. There are so many freaking games, and I'm going to try and cover as many as I can. So hopefully you guys are sticking around for that. Let me know your thoughts on new games that are coming out, on if you think Red Dead 2 is still coming out. Let me know all that stuff. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out, helps the video out, helps the channel out immensely. But until next time, peace.